looked on my phone a little while ago. And the date was 7/7, and the time was 7 a.m. Time to do a video. Okay. 7/7/7. When our Father speaks to us, those of us who have an ear to hear what the Spirit is saying to His called out ones, when He speaks to us, He will let us know by it coming from different, multiple directions so that we know it's Him. He may speak to one of His little children in here, and all of a sudden you see the same thing on here, or you see the same thing in nature, but it will come from multiple directions, just so we'll know it's Him. I'm sitting with him this morning. He's like, hey, why did you stop doing videos? I said, well, because blah, 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 blah. He said, okay, well, why don't you start back? I was like, okay. 7/7/7. Now, I have no idea where we're going. We're just going to go. Had me in an interesting place. The 7 letters to the 7 churches dictated by Yeshua himself. Now, this is Yeshua, Jesus, the Son of the Most High, the Son of the Most High. He dictated 7 letters to 7 churches, or called out ones, and those letters have so much depth. Yes, they were letters to particular local churches of the time, but there were also letters to different church ages in order. And there were also letters concerning us as individuals. All those letters pertain to us in some shape or form or time in our life. All of them, or it's been my experience, all of them reflect and speak to me about me in some way. It's just the depth levels of truth. When the Father says something, the levels of truth, the depths of truth. You know, Paul said in one of his letters, he said about the length, the width, the height, and the depth. That's a 4th dimension that we don't think about a lot, but there is depth in the Father's words that are pure communication. None of us can say our communication has been totally and completely pure all of our life. Nope. Only Yeshua, because he only did what he heard, what he saw the Father do. He only said what he heard the Father say. He only repeated the pure words that came from the Father's heart. But none of us have done that. So these 7 letters are amazing. And the last letter to the Laodiceans, Laodiceans, however you pronounce it, I don't spend a lot of time on that letter, but wow. We went there, and in Revelation I have a little German Shepherd. Her name is Rosie, and she's out right now with some of the other ones. And although she is fiery, energetic, she's as loving as she is fiery. Let that sink in. So, the seventh letter to the seven churches, the seven called out ones, dictated by the Messiah himself, the Father having revealed this to him. This whole book of Revelation is the revealing of Yeshua HaMashiach by his Father to him. And he gives the information to an angel who called Yohanan or John up to reveal it to him, to write almost everything down that he heard. It was one thing he was not allowed to write down, but I'll leave that up to you to search out. The seventh letter, Laodicean, the Laodicean. The very end of the seventh letter. Revelation, that's the last book of the Bible. Revelation. Okay, now I'm going to have to turn you off if you're going to be making noise. Okay, you are off. Revelation chapter 3. We're going to read verse 19, 20, and 21, I think. Now, again, this is the angel telling this to, I think it's the angel, might be Yeshua himself. Anyway, the Father revealed this information to Yeshua, Jesus. He revealed it to an angel, and it's being communicated to John for him to write down, for it to be copied over and over and over by hand over, wow, hundreds and hundreds of years, for it to come to us in this form, this digitized form, wow, so that we can hear it. As many as I am fond of, as many as I love, I am exposing, and I am disciplining. Now that's in my English translation. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. But the literal translation, as many as I, if ever, have loved, I am exposing and I am disciplining. For the Father, the Son, the Spirit to expose to us what's in us so that we might be disciplined by them to be like them, that proves that we are loved by them. I've been exposed a lot by them, disciplined a lot by them. But that just means that their love for us is real. Now, the rest of this verse 19, the English translation says, "Be zealous therefore and repent." The literal translation, be boiling. You be boiling then, and after mind. After mind. It's been said that repent means to think differently. Well, this more literal translation means not just think differently, but think after. After what? Repent. That word's a very interesting word. She's out there totally in love with somebody, boiling with love. Thank you, Daddy, for showing it to us in many ways. You be boiling and be after minding. Here's the world system. Okay? Think about this. Here's the world system. We're in the world system. We're not of the world system, but we're in the world system. Those of us who are rebirthed from above, we're not of this system. In it, not of it. Got it? So here's the world system. It's like an anthill. We got our skyscrapers. It's just an anthill. We got little anthills all over the planet. You know, I mean, we think we're so awesome. And yet, our Father's so awesome. Now, here's the world system. We're in it. We're doing our stuff. And we're doing our stuff. Doing our stuff. And we hear with our heart's ear. We hear the Father calling to us. He's saying, come up here. Come, let us go up to the mountain of Yahovah, the Most High, Eloah, whatever you want to refer to Big Daddy as. I like Big Daddy. He's big and he's my daddy and I'm his little child. And when he says, come, sit with me. He said through the prophet, come, let us go up to the mountain of Yahovah. Come, let us go up. So when we, in this world system, doing all our little stuff that we think is so important, and we have an ear that hears, and the Father calls us to come, sit with Him, to be hearing what the Father says, even in this world system, hearing what He says and responding to what He says by coming to sit with Him that we may know Him. Be boiling. You ever looked at water in a pot and it's just water in a pot? It can be ice in a pot. Water, ice, cold. Or it can be the same exact water, but boiling. You know what comes out of boiling water? Steam. You know what steam can do? Whoa. Steam can clean and steam can empower. Steam can move an entire train load of weight. Steam. Steam can clean something. Man, I mean, you can use any kind of cleaner, disinfectant to clean the surface of something, but steam, whoo, whoo, steam can knock the wrinkles out of a shirt. I got a lot of wrinkles in my shirt. Look at this shirt. Thought I had a hole in it. You could take this shirt or any of my clothes, and if they're wrinkled, you can hang them up and take my steamer and just steam it, and boy, it just knocks all the wrinkles out. It makes it, wow, look really nice instead of disheveled. Steam has a lot of attributes to it, and it comes from boiling water. Here in this verse, Big Daddy is saying through the Messiah, his son, through the angel, through John, through many generations of transcribing these words by hand. He's now saying to us, you be boiling. So that you might be able to after mind, after hearing, coming to sit with me. Then after that, when you come back to this world system, you have a repentant mind. Let this mind be in you, which was also in the Messiah, Yeshua. How do you get the mind of the Father, which was the mind of Yeshua? Because he only said what he heard the Father say. He only did what he saw the Father do. That mind is available to the Father's little children. And when we're in this world system and we hear the voice of our Father, hey, come sit with me every day. Daily bread. Come sit with me. Fresh bread is available at the table every day. Hear with your heart, your inner ear, let your spirit hear me. Come. Sit with me. Sit with us. Hear, know, understand our wisdom, our ways. See, that's the definition of overcoming. Verse 20. Be perceiving. Now in the English it says, behold, but the literal translation says, be perceiving. In other words, something's coming that's real powerful, real important, and if you don't perceive, you won't get it. Be perceiving. I stand against the door and I am knocking. And if anyone should ever be hearing my voice and should be opening the door, I shall be entering toward him or her. And I shall be dining with him or her. And him or her shall be dining with me. Wow, there's a lot there. There's a lot of depth levels there. That's a great place to just sit with the Father and say, Dad, you said be perceiving. I want to perceive. Yeshua says he's standing at the door and he is knocking. Tell me more about that, Daddy. I want to know more about the door. What door? Knocking how? When? Where? See, these are great things. We, as his little children, should be inquiring ones. We should be like 4-year-olds, asking 1,000 questions a day. We should be like little children. As a matter of fact, the Father said, Yeshua heard him say, and Yeshua re-said what he heard the Father say, lest you humble yourself like a little child. You can't enter into the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of the Father. You can't understand his ways. You can't understand his precepts. You can't perceive that which he has made available for you to feast off of and dine with them on. The words that are pure words. Last verse of the 7 letters in Revelation chapter 2 and 3. Revelation chapter 3 last 2 verses, 21 and 22. To the one overcoming, I shall be granting that one to be seated with me against my throne, as I also have overcome and am seated with my Father against his throne. Wow. Wow. The Father is seated. Yeshua is seated next to him. We've talked about this before if you've followed these videos. Father is seated. Yeshua is seated next to him. And Yeshua, in his human form, is casting a shadow beside him. This is describing that particular Psalm 91:1 situation. The one overcoming world system, doing all our stuff, all our stuff, hearing what we want to hear, saying what we want to say, doing all our stuff. Hearing, we have a new heart. We may not act like it, but those of us who are born again and are in need of being exposed, in need of being disciplined, that would be all of us. When our heart hears the voice of our Father because we're listening for it, we're tuned to it, we're not just all world system absorbed. And we can get like that. Been there a million times, been there. You probably have too. But we still have the heart to know him if in fact we're looking for him, listening for him, in the world system, and all of a sudden, here, rise above, overcome, to sit with them, the one conquering gets to be seated next to the Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus, as he is seated next to his Father. So here's the Father, Psalm 91:1. Go read it and ask him to show you everything that he wants to show you. Here's the Father, here's the Messiah, the King, and there is a shadow right there. That is the secret place. Go find out about the secret place because it's a secret. Verse 22, last verse of the 7 letters to the 7 called out ones, groups, the 7 churches on all those levels. The last verse, the one that has an ear, not this ear, not this ear, but this ear. To the one having an ear, let that person hear what the Spirit is saying to the called out ones. The called out ones. This is fresh bread. The called, oh. The called out ones. The inquiring ones that are his little children with an ear to hear. And when he calls, when he speaks, when he shows, we hear and we go to sit with them to become one with them. The called out ones. so that after dining with them, we come back to this world system so that others in this world system may go, "What did you just say? Why did you just do that? Nobody I know does that. Why did you just do that? Why did you, what are you, who are you?" Comprende, señor? E señorita? Señora? Comprende? Let me put my book up. Wow. That was good. 26 minutes. I enjoyed it. My Be Well cup. You have to pay attention to know what it says, because the world's way is backwards of his way. Unless we go sit with them, we can't understand them, their wisdom, coupled with their understanding. But when we go there, we are exposed by them so that we might be disciplined by them, so that we might be like them, which is being well. Love you guys. Wow. Wasn't that fun? Yay!